Hi, and welcome to MFS in the Hub. I'm Ross the Boss. I'm here with Vlad to the Bone, Casey Scheinfeld. He just signed that huge contract with Toronto this week.
I wish that
Congratulations.
was me. I know. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Congratulations, Vlad. That's a great sign for you. Not shocked, not shocked Guerrero signed. Shocked that Toronto waited so long to make the deal.
Well, I think they did great. I mean, to get him, what was Soto's contract? They got, it was like there was a six in front of it, I think. So, or more. To get Guerrero for 14 years at 500 million, as much as that, I never thought I'd say that in my life. That seems like a hometown discount in some ways. I think if he had gone out on the free agent market, he would have been getting well into the sixes.
Well, I think it's good they got it out of the way. It's not going to be talking about during the All-Star break in September. We're not going to be talking about
Yeah.
contract.
And if they're out of the playoffs, whether it would suddenly become, do we trade him talk?
Yeah, and I think it's going to help. Like all the Dominican players, like look up to Vlad. I mean, they love this guy, and I think it's going to help them next year in the free agent market also, because I think a lot of them were like kind of hesitant, thinking, well, he might leave. He might not be in Toronto. So I feel it was a good move all around. And, I thought about you immediately because you are Vlad to the Bone, Casey Scheinfeld. And
I am.
And you are. And he is your favorite player. And he's staying in Toronto. He's not going anywhere.
That's good for fantasy purposes too, obviously. That's
No,
a
it's
good
great
hitter's park
it's great.
for
It's
him.
great for baseball. I mean, I'm tired of the Dodgers and Yankees grabbing everybody. It's great to see Toronto, who actually is the richest ownership of any team in
Is it?
baseball.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
They're owned by this company called Rogers Communication. And
Yeah, that's
these,
pretty
these
good.
guys these guys are billions and billions of, I mean, money is like no object. I mean, they remember the Ohtani thing last year when everybody thought Ohtani was going to go to Toronto, but he was going to LA. But they have the money, and they have an executive board that decides where they spend the money. So let's say they want Casey Scheinfeld to play on the team, and they want to form a contract that has to go through the executive board, not the GM. So it's a very
that's a unique
process.
structure.
Yeah.
So raise your hand if you thought that the San Francisco Giants would have the best record in the NL West at this point. Yeah, I was going to say, how great have they been playing?
The Padres, Giants, all playing good ball. Anybody but the Dodgers in the West.
Yeah.
I love it. I love when the Dodgers lost yesterday to the Nationals. I love that. Keep it up. I mean, just keep losing Dodgers. I love it. I was upset when they had that 8-0 start, but that start's over with. I think reality's setting in a little bit. But the Dodgers are still the team to beat in the National League. We all know that, Casey Scheinfeld.
Yeah.
Let's talk waiver wire. A lot of adjustments. A lot of young pitchers coming out of the woodwork. A lot of young hitters are hitting the ball.
Yep.
Again, I don't suggest benching any of your stars, but I suggest you paying attention and seeing who's starting and who's sitting versus left-handers and right-handers. There are some adjustments you got to make as an owner on some hitters, and knowing that if left-hander is going, this player is not playing, and if a right-hander is going, this player doesn't play. So you got to be aware when you set your lineup in the morning of who's pitching. I mean, that's why it's so important.
Yeah.
That you pay attention every day to your team. It's not fantasy football. Fantasy football, you can blow it off until Saturday for your starting lineup. Baseball is a whole different animal. You got to pick every day. You got to make waiver wire moves. You got to just starting from tomorrow. You got to set that, and it never stops. Casey, if you were to pick one player that you're just shocked is having such a great season so far, who would it be?
That I'm shocked is having a great season so far.
I mean, my guy, I'll tell you my guy, and then you can tell me yours. My guy is Tyler Sandstrom of the A's.
Soderstrom, yeah.
I mean, this guy's hitting home runs, batting for average, playing in a ballpark where any team that comes in there is scoring 8-9 runs a game. I mean, it's a hitter's ballpark. It really is. And I said that beginning of the year, and I feel like it could be the new Colorado Rocky ballpark. You know what I mean? Like one of these ballparks where you go to and the ball just flies out of there. And these players are just huge high scores every day. There's no pitching duel in Sacramento, or Sacramento Tomato we call it. It's a real hitter's ballpark, and that's why Rooker, guys like Lawrence Butler, all these guys that play for the Athletics. I almost called them Oakland again.
What do they call themselves? Just the Athletics?
The Athletics. They're moving to Vegas in 3 years. They're going to play in this ballpark. It holds 10,500 people. The ballpark. I don't know if you saw. I thought I'd send you a clip of opening day, but people are really having fun at the ballpark. I mean, it looks like a minor league game, but I mean, they weren't drawing anything in Oakland anyway. So having 10,000 seats, if they can sell out every game,
at least it looks full.
Yeah, I mean, again, it looks like a fun place to go. I mean, I think the Yankees are out here in the West Coast in May. Maybe we'll see Casey Scheinfeld do a little road trip. You never know.
If they call me to come out and scout the game, I'll be there.
There you go. But Casey, who else? Waiver wire.
Along that same line is Wilyer Abreu, the kid at the outfielder in Boston, who's just been, a top 5 player in fantasy right now. 3 home runs, 10 runs scored, 12 RBIs, 10 walks in only 43 plate appearances. He's doing it all for them. Even he's even kicked in a stolen base. Not somebody who was even considered a top 20 round pick. And he's right up there with the best of them. I mean, Boston's playing good ball all of a sudden. So,
yeah, we've had some injuries. Connor Wong, the catcher for the Red Sox, is on the IL. Your guy Herrera,
he went on the IL. My guy Victor Robles. Did you see that? It's shoulder injury, diving to catch a ball. That one hurt a lot.
We got some injuries. We'll see some call-ups. Anybody? Let's talk waiver wire. Casey, who's your number one waiver wire pickup for the week?
Well, I picked the cover guy this week, Victor Scott. I talked about him briefly last week. This guy was a top prospect. They say he's one of the fastest kids in baseball, and he's certainly not disappointing on the season. Now he only has 1 stolen base in the last week, but for the season, he's hitting well. He's running well. I mean, 4 stolen bases, 6 runs scored, getting on base at over a 300 clip. That is what you want. I mean, he's never going to help you in home runs. It's just not his game. He has 1 on the season. So if he gets you double-digit home runs, but he could easily get you 35 or 40 steals if he keeps getting on base at this point, and he can score you 100 runs. And that's incredibly valuable as a 4th outfielder. And right now he's only 45% owned.
I like that pick. I also like Hunter Goodman of the Rockies.
The catcher,
He's been killing the ball. I mean, if you have Herrera or have Wong and you need a catcher, you can't go wrong with Goodman. I mean, I liked him last year. He was getting a bunch of home runs. If he had filled that gap up with the catcher, I mean, Hunter Goodman is my number 1 catcher to pick up for the week if you need somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been killing the ball, and not just because he's hitting in Colorado. It's because he's been hitting on the road too. I mean, he's been on fire. Let's talk first base, Yankee guy, Ben Rice. Everybody's picking this guy up. I think he's over 60%.
As of right now, he is still 35%.
He's still well, we talked about him last week, and his percentage went up a lot. What's your aspirations on the? Where did he go? Dartmouth? He went to Ivy League school.
I think he did Yale.
Was he at Yale? Same as George Bush?
He's either Yale or Princeton, I'm pretty sure. But no, he's a big, tall, strong left-handed bat, which is kind of something that's great in Yankee Stadium with Giancarlo Stanton being hurt. That gives him plenty of chances at DH. Paul Goldschmidt is playing well right now, but he's long in the tooth, so he's going to need rest days. So there's plenty of at-bats for Rice to get, and he's taking advantage of them. He's batting .333, got a couple home runs, got a couple stolen bases even. So the guy is producing for somebody who wasn't even drafted. He's still only 35% owned. Another first baseman is Nathaniel Lowe. Nobody's really talking about him. The kid in Washington. 3 home runs already on the season, a 280 average, batting cleanup in that fun Washington Nationals lineup where they're aggressive and they put runners in motion. So I think there's going to be a lot of chances for him to drive in some runs.
Somebody that I picked up in a lot of leagues at shortstop is talking about the Athletics is Jacob Wilson.
Yeah, he
I
was their
mean,
top prospect a couple years ago. So
yeah. I mean,
the
I like
pedigree's
this
there.
kid, and he's a speedster. He can steal bases. He hits for power. I mean, can we say he'll be like a 30-30 guy? I mean, is it
No, I
possible?
don't
Am I
think so.
crazy?
I
Okay.
don't think he's that. I think he's more of a really good. He's a little closer to Stephen Kwan in terms of his player profile. He'll steal some bases, but he's not exactly a burner. But he's a great on base guy. He's a good batter's eye. So the discipline, the on base percentage, he'll score runs. He'll be batting. If he's not batting near the top of that lineup yet, he will be before long because he's just consistent and steady and somebody you can count on.
Now, somebody that if you need stolen bases, if you're in a roto league that we are, somebody for the starting center fielder for Tampa Bay, Johnny DeLuca,
Yeah.
already has
Yeah.
3 stolen bases for the year. Casey Scheinfeld.
Yeah.
I mean,
Josh Lowe getting hurt, which is not a big surprise, but that opened up playing time for DeLuca, and he's kind of slammed the door open and he's been a table setter for them in terms of his ability to get on base and disrupt the team on the base path. So yeah, great player.
that's something that's surprising me. I wasn't thrilled that he joined my Cincinnati Reds, but he's been batting cleanup and hitting the ball pretty well. Is Gavin Lux for Cincinnati? Do you think this could be his year? Do you think he can turn it around and we can
Look,
see like the Gavin Lux they drafted?
he was a top prospect for a reason.
Yeah.
I mean, and his numbers in the minors for the Dodgers for years were always dominant. So maybe it took him a few years to figure it out. Could end up being one of the steals of the draft. Like, we talk about those post type sleepers, and he would be one. This year you have Spencer Torkelson, your Arizona State Sun Devil, is tearing the cover off the ball. Hit another home run today in the Tigers defeated the Yankees. And Jordan Walker, another guy I know you were high on as a rookie and drafted him in baseball. He's hitting over 290 with a home run, a couple steals, getting on base. I mean, he's hitting in the latter half of the lineup at 6, but St. Louis is playing good ball. So there you go.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these guys like Kyle Stowers of Florida. I mean, he's a good hitter, but he has platoons. He doesn't play every day.
Yeah. And I'm looking for more guys I feel like I can trust a little better.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's not trustable, but not yet for me. I need to like somebody like Jordan Walker or Spencer Torkelson or Gavin Lux who have this track record and scouts raving about their stuff all along. I trust them a little bit more when they figure it out.
Now, the Angels don't get any PR. I live in California. I live in Los Angeles. No one talks about the Angels, but they do have a baseball team in Anaheim, which they're trying to change it so they're not called the Los Angeles Angels. They want to get rid of that, which I don't blame them. I think it's stupid. They don't play in LA County. They have nothing to do with the city of Los Angeles. They don't pay LA taxes. They have nothing to do with the city at all. So why are they called the Los Angeles Angels? Now, if you look at the catcher, Ohop.
Yeah, he's 80% owned though.
I know he's 80, but I'm just saying for fantasy purposes, if you own him and you want to trade him now because he leads the league, I think he's one of the lead leaguers in home runs, correct? 5 home runs.
He's up there. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, this is a great time because we just don't talk about waiver wires. We talk about players that are really hot, that are not going to stay hot. I mean, right now could be a great time to trade him away.
I believe in him a little more than you do. I've always seen, even when he was with Philadelphia, I saw as a prospect, I liked the potential for him to be a big power guy behind the plate. He got hurt last year, his shoulder, that kind of took some shine off of him. But yeah, especially if he's your second catcher and you have one of those top 5 or 6 catchers already on your roster. Yeah, you don't need to roster unless you're in a 2-catcher league, you don't need to roster a backup catcher that other people would pay starting money for.
No, you don't. And another player that I kind of caught my eye, and I wanted your opinion before I picked him up, is Otto Lopez. He's been hitting the cover off the ball. I mean, no one knows who this guy is. Otto.
Yeah.
I love the name Otto. What's your opinion on Otto Lopez, and do you think he'll be able to keep up what he's doing?
Well, do I think he'll? I mean, he's a young player. He's the Marlins second baseman, right? That's
Correct.
I'm thinking of the right guy, right?
He plays
Um,
second base. Correct.
his I don't think he's gonna. He's not one I really trust yet. I mean, even doing what he's doing, he's still only batting 245. He only has one steal, so he's not really delivering in any one category exceptionally. But he's producing. He's somebody I would put on my watch list. I don't think I would run out to get him.
I mean, talking about people not producing. I mean, let's talk about the Atlanta Braves. I mean,
No, none of them are producing because I
that
have
whole lineup is
I
like,
have Matt Olson and Austin Riley on the same team.
yeah. I mean, that whole lineup is just horrible. I mean, they'll turn it around, but if you want to trade and go get one of those guys, like you mentioned, it's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Because when it gets hot in Atlanta in the summer, that ball flies.
Oh, I know. And once they get Acuna back, that lengthens that lineup even more.
I heard he's not even running yet. I mean, what's
I
the
don't know.
timetable on
I
him?
haven't looked into it.
I mean, you and I talked about he's going to be back for opening day. That never happened. That was a false pretense.
Yeah.
Uh, do you think there's
What I
any
read
chance?
was sometime in May, but who knows?
Yeah, I heard he's not even like taking fly balls in the outfield.
I don't
He's
know.
not
I
even
haven't been following him
Yeah,
because
that's what I
I don't
read.
have him on any of my teams, and he's
I
not part
do.
of a waiver wire show because he's always
No.
99%
I'm
of.
saying for people that have him, it could be a good time maybe to trade for him.
Yeah, you might
Um,
be able to get a frustrated owner.
but you always have the inside scoop when these guys are coming back. But
I'll
the
do some
Braves are being
research for
quiet.
Thursday. How's that?
The Braves are just being hush hush. I just thought maybe your contact in Atlanta would help you, but obviously you didn't.
Jane
Um,
Fonda.
any other hitters that then we'll go to pitching? Any other hitters that you want us to pick up this week?
Well, I mean, look, there's that kid Kyron Paris for the Angels.
Yeah,
I
the
don't know if
Angels.
I trust him, but he's got 4 steals and is batting over 400 on the season. I mean, he's just um,
And he
tearing
plays
the
second
cover
base.
off the
He's
ball.
a
He
second
plays
baseman,
second
correct?
base, but he also has started in center field for them. So pretty soon he's going to have second and outfield eligibility. So I'm looking at eligibility guys. Another guy is, I mean, he was really good in Minnesota for a while. Jorge Polanco in Seattle. Do I trust him necessarily to be a top 50, 60 guy throughout the season? Maybe not, but he qualifies at second and third, like two of the thinnest positions. And he's always been a decent fantasy producer, somewhere, you know, middle of the pack, not great, but somebody that's good to have on your bench in case you need fill in spots. So that's another person I'm looking at.
I like those. I like both those guys actually. Good pickups. Any before we go to pitchers, any prospects, Casey, that are coming up that we should grab right now that you're focusing on?
Nothing new.
When
Nobody's
is Roman Anthony the star outfielder for the Red Sox? Is he any talks about him coming up or playing for them this
Well,
year?
it's hard. I mean, as long as you have Duran and then Wilyer Abreu producing so well, like they're playing so well, they don't need him right now. So they're getting him at bats in the minors to keep him rested. Christian Campbell has been fantastic. I think he's a top
Yeah, he's like
35
70% now.
player right now in fantasy.
Yeah.
Um, you know, and and
And they signed him long term, or they signed him like 2 weeks ago, long
did
term.
they? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
they
mean,
offered him
so I don't know
70
when
million.
Roman Anthony will be up. I'm assuming there'll be an opening at some point in left or right field for him, but Jaron Duran's going to be your center fielder. They're not going to take that away from him. And
No.
William and Abreu's ripping the cover off the ball. So, um,
Yeah, that's the thing about these minor leaguers. There's no room in the roster for them to bring them up. You know what I mean? They could be doing great, but what do you do with like a guy like Duran? You're not going to bench him. You're not going to move him.
right.
Um,
So,
it's just a waiting game, and sometimes it's sad. Sometimes these guys just have to go to a different organization. Let's talk pitching. I'll tell you who my pickup of the week is. I like this. We talked about him last week, but it's Max Meyer of the Marlins.
yeah.
Last year when he was healthy, he was great, and now he's right below 60%, and he is, he's. I know he's on one of the worst teams in baseball, but again, he has huge upside. I think it's somebody that you should definitely try to pick up. I think he's going to have a pretty good year in Florida. Any thoughts on Max Meyer?
I like Max Meyer. He was a big name coming up through the prospects. He added some 1 or 2 mile per hour to his fastball this offseason, so that should help him. Um, you know, he's more of a head-to-head points guy where wins don't matter as much than he is roto because of the team. But he's got better shape on his. He's got a good arsenal. He's throwing harder. He's always been a good strikeout guy. So if he maintains command, I would go there.
No, I like him too.
For me, the name that I don't understand, his overall season numbers aren't like his ERA and WHIP look bad, and that's Luke Jackson in Texas, because the first game of the season he blew a save with 1/3 of an inning and 3 earned runs. Since then, he's gone 5 innings, 5 saves, 0 earned runs, like an crazy good WHIP, and he's still under 60% owned. So if you need a closer, go grab Luke Jackson. On the starter side, you mentioned him last week. My namesake, Casey Mize, has been awesome.
He pitched a gem against the Yankees, your Yankees yesterday.
Yep.
I mean, his stuff looks great. I watched some of that game. He was unbelievable. What's his percentage on Yahoo right now?
On Yahoo right now, it's 40% rostered.
Okay.
And your boy Brady Singer in Cincinnati is at 61%. So I included him on here too, because he's still pitching well after 2
He was pitching great in Cincinnati. He pitched yesterday, 8 2/3 innings, 7 strikeouts against the Giants with Hunter Green. I mean, I told you beginning of the season, if he's healthy and everything points to him to have a great year with the age, with how many years he's been in the league, with his health. Everything says to me that he can definitely be a Cy Young contender. I don't know if he'll win, but he'll be in talks about the Cy Young, because this guy's, he's definitely a threat to strike out 10, 12 guys a game. Lightning stuff. Great pitcher. I think for him, it was more confidence the past year. Just more of a head case type situation. But I think he's ready to shine this year. And I
hope for Cincinnati's sake. I picked them to go to the playoffs. So fingers crossed there.
They did. I mean, Hunter Green looks great. And Casey, what other pitchers? And like the relievers, it's, there
aren't a lot of relievers to pick from.
There really aren't. I mean, the Reds today, the Reds yesterday had Tony Scanlon come in and got the save.
Yeah.
He pitched 1/3 of an inning and got the save for Hunter Green. They won 2-zip, but it's like a lot.
Yeah, I think Luke Jackson's the one I was pointing at. I mean, Jordan Hicks is pitching great. He can play. You can put him at relief for your team, but he's a starter. But Jordan Hicks is part of that San Francisco team that's just been playing so well. He's somebody else you can play.
Any Dodgers starter, I suggest. Dustin May lost, I know, yesterday, but he pitched a great game. Any Dodger starter, is a good pickup, obviously. Who's pitching really well? And anybody in the pod in San Diego or in San Francisco? You said Jordan Hicks.
I mean, that's
today.
he throws. No, didn't he just throw? I thought he just threw his second game the other day.
I think Cease goes today.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Cease does.
For the Padres. But I was looking at some of the, who else is pitching well, who I loved last year, but he totally let me down. He was hurt half the year, and he was traded from Detroit last year to Arizona. Eduardo Rodriguez. I loved him in Detroit. I loved him. I was jumping up and down when he went to Arizona. I thought him in the National League is going to be money. Then he got hurt. Then he came back and pitched horribly. But he looks good this year. His stuff is really good. He's somebody that I'm not surprised he's pitching pretty well, and I that's why I expect like Arizona to be in the playoffs. They can win 90 games.
Yeah, if you want to take a flyer on somebody who could burn you, is Chase Dollander, the prospect they just called up who had a decent start for Colorado. The problem is he pitches in Colorado, but he's got good stuff. He's a top prospect for a reason, but you might want to only start him on the road.
Yeah, the only Colorado guy I would consider picking up pitching-wise is Freeland. That's the only guy I would consider. I
Yeah,
mean,
but I
their
don't trust
bullpen's
the
trash.
yeah.
Their bullpen's horrible. I mean, I can't even tell you who's in that bullpen anymore. It's a bunch of minor leaguers. I mean, and then their starters. I'm
Yeah,
telling
it's a
you,
hard place to pitch.
when the temperature gets hot in Denver and with that thin air, the ball flies out of there. Right now, it's like 30 degrees. It's freezing, and it's freezing all over the country.
It's
So
freezing here. I was going to say it's
we're not going to see like huge running scores unless you're on the West Coast or you're in Florida or something. I mean, it's cold. Even Atlanta's cold. I mean, it's all over. It's cold, and the weather's bad, and that means not many runs, not many hits. I
a
mean,
lot of muscle injuries.
yeah, New York is cold. I mean, it's cold all over. So when you see your fantasy players not doing that great, you can blame the cold weather.
Yep. Take a
And
deep breath and wait for May.
yeah, I mean the bats just don't work as well when it's cold. The ball doesn't go as far. Um, that means they just have to tape it up and make it go further. Um, your boy Paul Skees goes today. Any thoughts on the Pirates and Paul Skees, and is he still the number one guy to be a Cy Young contender? Is anybody else in the National League catching your eye to win the Cy Young?
In the National League right now?
I mean,
Uh,
Paul Skeens was like almost even money to win the Cy Young. That's how confident people are. I like
I think
Yamamoto
I
because it's
really
like
like
Tony
Spencer
Capuano.
Schwellenbeck. Hunter Green's been pitching great. Um, I mean, Zach Wheeler is a stud all the time. So there's plenty of really good pitchers in the
So
National
today,
League.
Casey, you could listen to this line. Listen to this matchup. Tell me this is not going to be a 2-1 game. Zach Wheeler versus Chris Sale in Atlanta, where it's cold. I mean, we're talking 3-1, 2-1, right? I mean,
Yeah, I have Chris Sale going in a couple leagues, so I'm hoping he has his command.
I mean, I'm just, Colorado, Kyle Freeland, 2.13 ERA. He pitches they at home against Milwaukee. I mean, there's a lot of good pitchers going today. I just don't know if, the Reds have Lodolo going, who I love. I mentioned him a few times. Um, he's definitely somebody I like a lot. Any other pitchers or anybody else we should talk
No,
about in
I
fantasy
like I said this early in
baseball?
the
It's so
season.
early. That's the thing. It's so
Yeah,
early.
I
So
don't like to name a bunch of people who are just playing well. I'm trying to look for guys who I think are actually going to produce going forward.
and I love it when they start bringing some of the younger players up. That's my favorite part
Yeah,
of waiver wire because you can really sink your teeth into some of these young guys.
you
Any
got the.
prediction? The Masters in Augusta,
I was just going
Georgia
to say
takes
that's
place
this weekend.
today. Starts Thursday. Casey, I know you're a golf expert, one of the best in the country. Who are you taking to win the Masters of 2025? Who's taking home the green jacket?
Ooh, I'll go chalk. It's either Scotty Scheffler or Rory McIlroy. I think are the two.
Rory's been having troubles in the Masters in the
I know,
past.
and
He hasn't been the greatest.
I think he gets the monkey off his back. How's that?
I'll go with Tommy Fleetwood.
Oh,
He's
I
a
love him. Yeah,
huge long shot. I love Tommy Fleetwood. Colin Matakawa, I like a lot. I like
Morikawa.
him.
Yeah,
He's a California kid. I like him a lot. I think he went to UCLA. Was it UCLA or I think he did went to UCLA. But I mean, I do enjoy the Masters. I don't watch golf that much. So I do watch the four majors. So you like Scheffler. I'll take Fleetwood as a long shot just because Scheffler's the huge favorite. And he hasn't been playing that great. He hasn't won yet this year, so which is great. It's good for golf.
the name
Um,
nobody knows but should know will be. I'm going to go with Ludwig Aberg.
Ludwig Aberg is one of the top 10 players in the world. I mean,
I know, but people don't know his name.
I don't follow golf that much. I know who he is. I mean, I think he's from Denmark, correct?
Yeah, he was at Texas. He was a stud at Texas Tech.
Yeah, he was from Denmark originally. Yeah, if I know that, Casey, he's pretty household.
Yeah, but no, because you're more savvy in all
Not that
sports
great.
than most
But
people.
yeah, I mean, and all the guys from Liv are all playing, like
Oh
Brooks
God,
and
yeah,
all those
Kepka and
guys.
all those guys. Ugh.
John Rahm, Arizona State grad. But
I like
enough
John
with golf.
Rahm. If he can control
Enough
his
with
head,
golf.
if he can control his emotions, he's one of the best players ever.
Who, John Rahm?
Yeah, if he can control his head.
If he had either Dr. Dan Ratner or Dr. Casey Scheinfeld working
We
for
could
them, he
work
would
on
be a
it.
champion. They should call you. Okay, Casey. Well, keep on watching baseball. College basketball is over with, so we have more
Congrats to
time to watch
those.
baseball.
Congrats to Paige Beckers and to UConn with Gino Ariema for the girls, and then for Florida. What a comeback last night when they were down 10 points there early in the second half and had like 5 fouls about 3 minutes in. I
Did
assumed
you
that
see how the
there was
first
no
half
coming
they
back.
barely called anything? In the second half, it was like a
And
foul
like,
galore.
yeah, there were 5 fouls called against Florida in the first like 2 minutes and 38 seconds or something.
Did they like? Did somebody make a phone call to the refs like in halftime and said, "Hey, listen,
I
you
don't
guys, I
know.
gotta,
Somebody
you
had
know,
somebody had Houston in the under, I think.
the under was the highest bet prop of any bet in that game. It was like 92% of the
Oh my
public bet the
God.
under in that. It was crazy. I
But
was reading about that. And Vegas was all rooting for the over, but it didn't happen. Good for the bettors. Okay, Casey. So we'll be back Thursday at 4:00
with
Eastern, 1
Dr.
o'clock
Dan.
Pacific. Dr. Dan Ratner will have some insight. We'll probably go over some of the stuff that I mentioned already because it wasn't really waiver wire interest, but it was trade interest. I want people to trade. I want people to make early trades and rip people off. That's what I'm here for.
Well, now's when you take those gambles that could turn into ripoffs.
Yeah, that's what we do, Casey Scheinfeld. But we got baseball to watch. We got a long season. It's only April. And
Hey, it's only the third week, so relax. Pump the brakes a little bit.
Yeah.
Enjoy the grind.
There you go. I'm Ross the Boss. That's Casey Vlatsko and Scheinfeld. We'll see you guys on